Today is a nice day for a walk.
We are continuing our venture of up and at 'em and coming outside. It's a little chilly, but we're gonna make the best of it. And I'm gonna give you some advice on some cane tips, just in case you're newly blind and you buy a cane before the commission gives you one, like we did, and then we don't really use it right because we don't know how. I would like to thank my husband for these lovely steps and this railing because this is new. He had to redo this whole section because of everything that happened.
Bingo.
So, ding, ding, ding. So the right way to hold the cane is there is a wrist on it, which you would assume would mean you'd put your wrist through it, but actually that is not recommended because if a car were to catch your cane and take the cane, it would also take you. So that's not something we want.
Road trip.
So the way they told me was to kind of hold it in my fingers, like my index finger on this flat part, and then I'm using my wrist to slide it back and forth, as opposed to what I was doing before was kind of like gripping it, and then it was using a lot more muscles in my arm, and my arm was much more tense and sore from using it. So this is more wrist, and you still have control over the whole cane. So the whole idea is to swing kind of shoulder to shoulder in front of you like this, so that you can just make sure that there's nothing in front of you that you're going to step on. It's tricky because you want to have a nice cadence. I'm always being told by my mobility guy that I walk at a good cadence. And that he's impressed by that, and I also can switch my hands, which you will see as we go through the neighborhood, because my arm gets tired, so I'll switch to my other hand, and he says some people can't do that. So there's two different ways that he suggested that you could use it, is the slide technique. So you're sliding on pavement, feeling the grass, picking it up, tapping it, sliding it. Or you could just go like this the whole time. So it kind of depends on where I'm at, what the situation is, as to whether I do the tap thing or the slide thing. I usually do the slide thing, to be honest with you, because I can, like I said, I can feel everything that's going on. So I could just feel the difference between my driveway and the road. So now I know I need to turn left, and I need to keep the grass on my left. Now it's a very long way to the next driveway, and sometimes I've gotten a little bit confused and have inadvertently turned around. The craziest things, you wouldn't believe it, but like I have to keep my hips and my feet pointed in the right direction, or my whole body starts going in the wrong direction. And then when you're trying to find the crack of the driveway, like when we get up here, sometimes you'll find a crack in the road, and next thing you know, you're going across the road. When we first started out, my husband would let me get into all kinds of trouble on purpose, and then he would ask me if I knew where I was. And I would want to throw something at his head, because of course I don't know where I am, because I can't see. And you obviously just let me get myself into some kind of trouble that I now need to get myself out of, which at first was very frustrating, because I know that he wasn't mocking me, but I just felt like he wasn't being fair, I guess. But in the long run, it actually taught me quite a bit, and it helped me to realize that I do need to figure out where the hell I am, if you will, if I get myself into a situation. So I have to be very cognizant of my surroundings. The other thing is the weather. There's a big difference. Summertime was all grass. Since it has started raining, a lot of my tells, if you will, for the driveways that I cross are gone or have changed. For instance, the one coming up, there used to be like a little patch of dirt right before his driveway would start, and now it's kind of a patch of mud, and I'm not sure I even notice it so much anymore. I just noticed that his driveway starts. The other thing is this particular neighborhood kind of tends to Y out, so I also have to remember that, because there's been times where I feel like I'm going to the left. Oops, see, here's the driveway. And then I think I'm going up the driveway when I'm not yet. So I have to I have very good recall, So hopefully you do too. I know every single house in this entire neighborhood. I've been walking it for 8 years before this happened. So I'm not going to tell you the name of the people that live here, but I know the names of every single driveway that I come across. So once I've gotten across the driveway, I crossed it off the list in my head. I'm not supposed to go backwards. I just lost that for a second. If you noticed, I was over here and I was not on the crack. So I want to keep the crack of the driveway and the road on two separate things until I get to the other side. Now, this next section, Matt might be fast forwarding through some of this, so you might be not hearing me talk, which is okay. This next section used to be grass and dirt, and now it's like a curve. And it's a little tricky because it has gotten me caught in this next driveway that we're going to hit, and I have actually, like right now, I am unsure of if I've lost that curve or not. Honey, can you just help me out so we don't?
Well, you're okay.
I'm okay?
Yeah, keep going.
Walking?
You'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
See,
that's
that's
what
what I'm
it
saying.
does.
She'll figure it out. No faith.
But see, like there's a crack right here, and that has led me to go over there before, and then I'm walking in the wrong direction. But I should eventually, I don't feel the ledge I want, but I should eventually feel grass on my left, which I do. So hopefully I'm now going up the hill. This next driveway has gotten me more times than I can tell you, and it's in part because of that weird little roundabout, and the only way I can get around the roundabout is doing exactly what I did. If and when we ever get a dog, the dog doesn't necessarily have to be that specific or that wide. You know, he can just take me around the corner. But for purposes of me getting around the corner, the only way I can do it is doing it that way. So sometimes I've gotten confused as to what kind of left turn I've taken in the summertime because it's been grass. So now that it's not grass, it's actually a little easier for me to know that now I'm going up the hill, and the next time I feel pavement on my left is an actual driveway. But I have gone up this family's driveway all the way up to their garage and almost ran into it. I have been in their yard. My daughter's friend caught me once and said, "Mrs. Coleman, do you know that you're in the yard?" And I said, "No, I didn't." So she came and helped me out of it. So sometimes if I can feel the difference between the driveway and the road underneath my feet, I'll actually stand kind of like that as I go across it. I know it sounds silly, but it helps me distinguish where I am. And there's some driveways that I can tell the difference, and there's some that I can't. So that is another tell. When we get to the top of the hill, if we go all the way up it, when we come down, I'll show you how I have been suggested to hold my hand up to block something when there's something in your way. Otherwise, this is what I do throughout the whole neighborhood. It's a 1.3 mile loop, takes about 45 minutes, which I'm sure my husband's gonna cut down because he's gonna want to watch me walk for 45 minutes. This next driveway, again, used to be a big fat pain in my tuchus until I figured it out. So you just have to be patient with yourself because there's always a tell. You just gotta find what it is. Sometimes I can see the periphery of the mailbox if the sun is in the right part of the sky, because I can see different shades, and or I'll see the reflection on the mailbox, like the light kind of shine at me. I have almost ran into a mailbox a couple of times, so I do have to be careful if I don't have somebody with me. That's going to sound crazy, but when my kids are home from with COVID, they are going to school 2 days a week and they're home 2 days a week. So there's been days in the fall where I would put on a big high-vis vest and come out and try to walk the neighborhood by myself. And if I got myself into trouble, I would FaceTime them. See, I could just see that mailbox because it's very shiny. Which also, if I can't see the mailbox, there's like a lip right here. And it took me a long time to feel that lip. And then I have to go a little bit to the left on this driveway. And this driveway was a very tough one for me to kind of figure out. Poor little kid, he's a friend of my son's, and he said hi to me once, and I said, your driveway is a pain in my ass. And I don't think he quite understood that what I meant, because I'm not sure he knew I was blind yet. But anyway. Turn it back on.
I've been recording all this.
Oh, you've been recording all this. Okay,
Yeah.
So this is actually, we're gonna cross the street sooner than usual because it's cold out and I need to switch hands. And when I go down the other side, I usually do use my left hand after I pass the tree. So what I do is I line my feet up with the grass so that I know I'm as close to parallel as possible. I close my eyes, haha, that's funny. But I use my ears to make sure there's no cars coming up. I'm by myself, and then I cross the road. I try to walk as straight as I can. I do have a tendency to walk right. I don't know why that is, but it is. This is the other thing I also have to be very careful of is once I get to a certain section, for instance, I hear a neighbor up there. So if he says hi to me and I turn to say hi back, I have to remember that I have to turn back, find my landmark, and make sure my feet and my hips are in the right direction, because I have crossed the street so many times inadvertently because someone said hello to me and I have just turned just an inch. You can ask my husband. I'm sure he's in the background shaking his head up and down. So we, I believe, are coming up to the tree. So what I was told is if you know, or if you can't see at all, like some people can't see the reflections of the mailboxes like I can, or don't want to come across the mailbox. So they basically walk like that the entire time. Whose driveway is this?
I can't tell you on that thing.
Oh, did we miss the tree?
Yeah.
Okay, well there was a tree back there, and basically I always put my hand up it before I get to this driveway and kind of push it aside so that I can still feel the grass. The driveways on this side of the street are much easier for me to navigate because they're none of them are newly paved. So this is where I'm going to switch hands. So now you're going to notice my index fingers on the other side, and I'm doing the same exact thing with my other hand. For some reason, the mobility trainer said this is extraordinarily hard for some people. I don't find it hard at all. I've actually done it on purpose because sometimes the cane will get stuck in the weeds or the grass, and it will tug on my arm, and I actually want to get used to what that feels like. This driveway always comes so fast. I want to get used to what that feels like so that when the dog does it to me, potentially, if I get a dog, I keep saying like I have one, I don't. If we ever get a dog, that's what the dog's going to do. It's going to stop me in my tracks if I'm doing something wrong or there's a car coming. And I want to have that feeling of that joltness that I need to stop. And that happens a lot with the cane. Unfortunately, it gets stuck on little moldings here, there, or around the joint. So this is pretty much the gist of walking with a cane. I also find it easier to, even though we think that we can see, I used to walk, maybe I'm doing it even now and I don't know it. I used to walk with my head down, like I could see what I was looking at, and I actually think that made it worse. So once I started holding my head up and almost pretending there was like a plate on my head, if you will, like I was British and don't want to drop the plates or the thing of books on the top of my head, I would walk in a straight line better, especially when it comes to crossing the street. This is just one big loop, so there is 3 different spots that I have to cross the street, and I need to try to do that in a parallel fashion that doesn't put me up someone's driveway, which I have done many times as well, because people have yelled at me, Mrs. Coleman, do you know you're in so-and-so's driveway? Nope, no I did not. So it's good to get yourself lost and figure out how to get out of it. It's just practice, practice, practice. I can't tell you how many times I've walked this neighborhood. I might have made that look easy for anybody that's watching, but I have walked this neighborhood probably at least 100 times. And when the weather changed, it changed the whole neighborhood, and I kind of had to relearn it. When the snow comes, my mobility trainer is going to come out, and I'm going to have to relearn the whole thing all over again. So, but that's a little bit of cane technique. Again, make sure you don't put this on your actual hand. If you lose the cane, that's one thing, but you don't want to lose yourself in the process if someone clips you on accident. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed today's outdoor session, and we'll keep trying to do some different learning techniques and different things like that. So comment if you have any questions, and we'll answer. Thanks so much for watching.